has just issued a declaration stating that the United States is at war, and he is claiming wartime powers under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport whoever he wants to deport. Now, the invocation of the Alien Enemies Act that he just made moments ago, where he declares America is currently under invasion and therefore he needs to enact these wartime powers, says that he's only targeting the Tren de Aragua gang from Venezuela, but the implications here are that he can just decide who he thinks belongs to that gang, and then without any oversight, without any constitutional rights, start doing mass deportations, as he has declared a current war, an invasion is taking place, which obviously is not happening right now. The Alien Enemies Act of 1798 has only been invoked 3 times in American history during wars: the War of 1812, World War I, and the attack on Pearl Harbor. Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat, says the following about the Alien Enemies Act. He goes, the 1798 Alien Enemies Act allows the president to detain and remove without due process all non-citizens, students, tourists, long-term green card holders, spouses of citizens. It's to be used against citizens of a nation that's at war with the U.S. It is thus a wartime power. That's why it has only been invoked 3 times: the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II. It has never been used during peacetime and is not allowed to be used during peacetime. By itself, the invocation is illegal and dangerous. It allows Trump to hunt down non-citizens, many of which have lived here for decades totally legally, and remove them from their families and workplaces for no reason. Maybe just because they were critical of Trump. And Trump's explicit purpose to allow him to detain and deport gang members and drug traffickers is bullshit. There's already a law on the books that allows him to do that. He doesn't need a new law. The law says if you are a drug dealer, if you are engaged in crimes, you get the full force of the law. You get deported, you get arrested, you get treated like a terrorist if that's who you are. You don't need the Alien Enemies Act. So, then why is he invoking this 18th century war powers law? Remember, his plan is to destroy our democracy so he can turn our government and your tax dollars over to his billionaire friends like Elon Musk. The slow but steady rollout of war powers. Is the Insurrection Act next? Is he going to start declaring martial law and send the United States military on the people as people start to rise up? It's all part of Donald Trump's attempt to erode our rule of law and take fascist control over our country. Until and before we know it, our entire country could be gone to Donald Trump's authoritarian desires. That's what Trump and these spineless MAGAs want. Look, during the campaign, Donald Trump said that he was going to invoke the Alien Enemies Act. We kept on calling it out. Corporate media wasn't covering. Show you one example during the campaign.
Shalom family. I know you guys heard that. Yeah. What you guys think about that? Huh? What do you think about it? You just listening to it, just minding your business, and the peace.
I think, it's just like another thing we've seen the past few months ever since that administration has been in office. There's been thing after thing after thing. I mean, even previous to when that administration got in office, because they, were trying to get rid of him. There were just so many things happening, from the top of the year. If we did a quick rundown, what are all the things that have happened?
Ooh, it's too much that happened. We do too much. I don't
What
know.
were some of those things that were particularly for that administration? I'm trying to remember because I can't even
remember. It's like too much. That's something.
But I just remember the feeling of like, wow, stuff just keeps happening.
Exactly. That's something that like it makes you confused when you start to think about it, because there's so much stuff, which I'm not going to think about.
But you know what? A lot of people say that like, hey, America's not under war. Why would he do this? I do happen to disagree and kind of agree with him on this point, Because I think America is at war. I think a lot of Americans just don't want to see it that way. But I do think there is some reality and truth to what he's saying and why he would do something like that. Because first of all, you have these Chinese, Mexican, Venezuelan, all of these nationals that have been in the country for so long. And it's like, honestly, at any point, if somebody decided, they're getting sick of him bombing the Houthis, because by the way, he just did that again and started bombing the Houthi rebels of Iran just in the last 12 hours. I'm like, he always do this stuff on the weekends. Like, I thought he was Jewish. I thought he was having his Sabbath day yesterday. What happened? Anyway, all these things always happen on the weekends. And it's like, there's some validity to what he says. Our view is that, of course, you should not live in America. You shouldn't be there because he's going to send you to war. If you are of war age, right? They said, what did they say, 24 to 30?
Yeah,
to
that's
32?
that's the stuff that's the stuff that like you don't think about until, I mean, at the time it was a big deal. Just think about that, guys. Think about that. We came on live, we was talking about it like, look, the draft is open again, but all this time passed and you really don't think about it until you really point it out like that. Like, oh snap, that did happen.
Yeah,
Like, so it's so much stuff that happened like that where people forget, because everybody got an everyday life. You're doing everything that you have to do to try to go to the next level and survive and stuff. But yeah, that's interesting right there. The draft is open for people to go to war, and just for me, my viewpoint, I believe war is going to be right inside of America. Because war always is outside of America. They're always destroying other, countries and stuff like that, land masses. But war never really came to America. So you just have to think about, like, man, the people that America go to war with, they don't want to go back and forth. I keep telling people that they don't want to go back and forth. They want to demolish that land. So, man, like with this happening and stuff, it's a sign. You got to take everything as a sign and know that, hey, this is real life. This is reality. This is reality. And this, as you guys heard, if you haven't heard, go back to the beginning of the video. The guy was saying, this hasn't happened until what was it? 18?
Since
17?
World War II, and then before then, the War of 1812.
1812, yeah. War 1812, World War II, right?
So two times in history prior to right now, which were both wartime. Does anybody remember? Let's look it up. The War of 1812, I believe it was against America and the French. Okay, me correctly.
Yeah, it's very interesting of what's happening. It's so much stuff that's happening, but stuff like this people don't really understand. So this is a stuff that's like really important that you need to understand and be like, okay, that's interesting. What somebody put a Canadian flag in there.
War of 1812, Canada won. But look, y'all, the War of 1812 was when the U.S. fought its allies, the United Kingdom and France, in America, the War of 1812. So this was like part two of 1776 of 1619, when the British American descendants, they had already brought their slaves over, all this stuff from Sierra Leone. That was one of the main places they brought slaves. They had, settled in America, all these things. And the War of 1812 was a follow-up, a sequel, if you will, to those events, because the descendants of Europe wanted to be free from the crown, from British rule, from all these things, the Catholic Church, whatever. They wanted to be free from, in their own words. And so they had to defeat the British and the French, Britain's allies. But Canada apparently became a nation around that time, or whatsoever have you. So this is full-scale war on American soil. The next time it happens is World War II, okay? Because you had Japanese people that were in America at that time. Obviously the thing with Hiroshima, Nagasaki happened. They bombed Hiroshima in Japan. It was a nuclear war that happened. They just, boom, America bombed them. There are Japanese still in there. So they invoked the 1798 Alien Enemies Act, which tells you which is basically a symbol that says, hey, there are enemies in America. Hey, there are, back then in 1812, it was British and French colonial enemies in America. And then, in World War II, there's Japanese enemies in America. It's like a symbol that goes out to, obviously, like the Pentagon, all these people that are in these agencies that says, hey, we're in war. So anybody that is still like, oh, there's no war in America. Trump just announced you're in war. This is what we've been saying. If the president himself announces you're in war, it's very wise not to say, oh, no, we're not. If he says you're in war, the end. One, you're in a trade war. Two, you're in a currency war with everything that's happening with BRICS, crypto, and all the other folks, because guess what? China, India, Brazil, South Africa, they're not going to slow down. They're not afraid of America. Sorry to break it to you. They're not. They just signed an agreement to where they can trade their oil with crypto. AKA, they don't need US dollar.
Yeah, like pretty much all the countries do not want to have the US dollar be a middleman. Put it like that. They don't have to go through the US dollar, so they can just trade currency and currency. And as my wife was just saying, like, man, that's just crypto. I know I said this before, because, like, just think, BRICS, that is Brazil, way over here on this side of the world. Russia, way over here. You get what I'm saying? India, China, it's all around the world.
South Africa. Dubai, Ethiopia, United Arab Emirates, they're a part of it now.
Yeah. But it's like all these currencies is not on the same currency. So how are they going to get paid and the same amount with their currency? And that's just, XRP. That's pretty much cryptocurrency, the blockchain, digital assets, what everything is starting to shift to. So you just got to be ahead of what is coming, because really war is all about finances.
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's about land grab and finances. And if you listen to us and we say go watch The Grab on Hulu, you'll understand it's about water and food. It's about land and water.
It's about gold.
And how can you get land and water? You gotta have some type of finances.
Right.
Like war is just all about finances.
Right.
It's all about money. So, just be behind the scenes and be wise. Like, really, be behind the scenes, be wise. Get your land out the way. Make sure you can profit off your resources that you have, and just stay out the way. Stay out the way, because this stuff is reality now. It's really picking up, and we only been in this year 2 days, 3. No, I'm just playing. 4 months, 3 months.
3 months. It's March 16th.
3 months. So
Q1. We're heading to Q2 soon.
We will see how things gonna keep picking up.
And we need to talk about our sponsor, the Chart Analyst Academy, taught by my husband, where he is teaching people. Now it's a small group of people because he already has how many clients? 3 to 4 clients that you deal with on a consistent basis. So your schedule is a little bit booked out, but you have about 2 or 3 spots left for people who are serious about getting profits during a war. Let me put it like this. Just because the charts are going down doesn't mean you can't profit.
Yeah.
So, plug for that. Check out the link in the description. But this should show you guys that whoever thought last year, the last 2 years, we've been talking about this for so long. Whoever would say like, oh, America's not that bad. It's the best place. Everything's fine. Just don't listen to the news. I mean, does it take troops on the ground? Does it take your rice being $30, $50, $60, $100 per pack? What does it take for people to see, oh, America's in war. If I want to survive, I should probably leave. That's just from our perspective. And the cool thing is a lot of people have been leaving. Like, on my Threads account, this is so different from 2020 when it was like, it felt like we were like the only people that were leaving America. It was like, well, I guess we just like kind of out there. But now people are like, how do I get out of here? Where can I go? Can I go to South Africa? Can I go to Tanzania? Can I go to Mauritius? Can I go to Kenya? Can I go to Sierra Leone? Can I go to Ghana? Can I go to Dubai? Can I go to Vietnam? People are just like, it's time to go. They're seeing the writing on the wall. But you don't want to be the person that didn't pay attention and has to reap the bad rewards for it. You know, we were watching a video yesterday of somebody saying, you know, they're gonna have like 100 packs of water per person in their family in America. And it's just like, why is that
500.
necessary? 500 packs of water. We also used to think that in 2017, but the Most High put on our spirit, why would I live in a society where I'm gonna need to store water for 6 months at a time?
Yeah.
Why would I live in a society where I'm going to have to store water for 6 months at a time? Why would I live in that society?
Why would I live in a society that is decaying, that is dying, that the research, and just if you do your research on America, judgment is coming. It's point blank period. So why would you want to stay there? Like I know people be hitting us up like, oh, you guys hate America. Like, no, it's just common sense.
I just love the truth. That's the reality.
It's the truth of it. Like this, the land that America is on, it has a lot of bloodshed. It just goes back to the word. It goes back to the Bible. It goes back to the scriptures of Cain and Abel, right? Like really,
The
Most
blood's crying
High
out.
came like, what is that noise? Where's your brother? Just off that one person. So just think about all the bloodshed that's been spilled on that land. Really. Like, it's a lot of judgment coming. And at this time right now, it's probably gonna really amp up a lot. Like really. So you just gotta be wise and really care for yourself, really care for the next generation, because
That's good, because
it's not time to just sit on your hands and you know, just march in place. No, it's time to sprint and get out of there. Like,
I'm
really.
glad you said that, because we've been saying this about how the previous generations honestly just don't care about the next generation. But it was verified when a school psychologist came out. It was on what podcast is that called that I always watch? Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO. And there was a psychologist on there who has been studying the connection between parents and children and what went wrong with the previous generations. This is a European descent American, okay? So they're very clear about it, just as we talk about on this channel. Like, something was not right with some of the previous generations in America, and both the black and white communities. Something went haywire, and she said it in such a way that was like, that's it. Because I'm like, I can't put my finger on it with the previous generation, but she said it. She was like, during the trade, or sorry, not the trade era. What was that called in the 1940s? When everybody had the factories and stuff.
Oh, the industrial.
Yes, during the industrial era
Revolution.
is when they started to strategically take fathers out of the house for 40 to 60, 80 hours a week. From that point on, the family structure decimated, because then the mothers had all this pressure, and then the fathers, they off somewhere in the factory, you know, getting all this lung cancer because they put those men in these crazy situations with this crazy black smoke. A lot of those men ended up dying of lung cancer. And she pinpointed and said that was actually the point in American society where the family structure started to decline quickly. And from there you can trace, you know, feminism, abortion, all these things go back to that. And it's like in America, and it's so opposite from Africa. That's why I love Africa. It's so opposite, because in Africa, I remember even down here in Mauritius, it was when we first landed, we had went to this shop to go and get some food, and one of the waitresses did the same thing they do in East Africa, holding one of our babies because they see we have a lot of children. This person doesn't know us. They don't know nothing about us. They're like, oh, can I hold her? It's like, oh yeah, sure. In America, they hate children. Families hate children. American families hate children. That's why you have that society. And so you're coming to a place where it's like, this has been happening for decades, since World War II, the decimation of the family structure, which has caused so much havoc in the American society that most people, believe it or not, this psychologist said it, check it out, on Diary of a CEO, most American people, 2/3 or more, are on anxiety medications, depression pills. Why is that? She says you have to look back at the parenting. But a lot of people in these different communities will say, oh, well, you can't blame no, you can blame parents. You can blame grandparents. You have to look back and see what's happening. Somebody has to take accountability. So this was like, we realized this, but didn't have the words to say it. And this was like the main reason we decided we have to move out of America, because we have a lot of children that we actually do love and care about, and we cannot raise them up in this society. It's just not going to happen. It's just not possible, because the society is almost seated with Lucifer himself. Because who else on the planet hates children other than Lucifer? Let's be honest. Is it Yah that hates children? No. So obviously we have to come up with a different being that hates children. It's not sustainable. And so this was just like the origin of us saying, okay, we have to get out of here and not go back, because it's a deadly, decaying society, and it will never be great again. He's saying, make America great again. Yeah, we're going to see how that turns out. Well, y'all see how it's turning out.
Yeah.
Y'all see the prices of eggs. They're $30 in Alabama. Client told us that. I said, sis, $30? I said, yeah, my granny was born in Alabama. I never got to visit. She was like, you ain't missing nothing.
Yeah, I think we pay, well, we get 30 eggs for 284. So like $5. $5.
We get 30 eggs for $5.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sometimes
Look at
we
Most High.
just buy
Hallelujah.
2 just because we know we probably gonna eat some more eggs that week or something. A lot of eggs that week. So, you know, $12 at the most for 60 eggs. Yeah.
And the prices are going to increase, because when you have trade war, tariffs, Trump is telling y'all, oh, it's just going to affect them. No, ma'am, no, sir. It's going to affect the American people, not the Americans that are outside of America, the Americans that live in America and have to get these foods from other places. China has put a 10% and 25% tariff on beef, chicken, fruits. Y'all didn't even know all y'all food came from halfway across the world. Why is your food, first of all, why is the food coming from China? Not from Sierra Leone, not Ghana, from China.
And think about what China, like, just watch videos how Chinese people eat. I know our children, they be showing us videos how they be, it's nothing, I mean, it is something wrong with it, but no shade, you know. They be eating some crazy stuff, and I'm like, whoa, like, dang, they some savages right there. But, yeah, that's something to think about. That is something to think about. That's something like, wow.
Why is your food? Because you got West Africa right there that has all that food. But because you're so racist, you're like, oh, I don't want to get that, blah, 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 blah. I'd rather just get it all. Okay, well, enjoy your fake food.
Yeah. And we just saw that documentary or something. The Nigerian Rand. What is it, Rand?
No, Nigerian Naira.
Naira, not Rand.
South Africa Rand.
Yeah. Nigerian Naira, right, was stronger than the U.S. dollar in 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, something like that. Because the world was heavy on agriculture, on farming, and exporting and stuff. So that's why Nigerian Naira was stronger than the U.S. dollar. But as soon as it flipped to this oil and stuff, you know, it just dropped. So that's something to think about. That is something to think about. Agriculture is a good industry to, like, put your investments in, because that's what it's just coming back to. Like, really, that's what it's coming back to. Like, really.
Owning land. Having plots of land in different countries, different places. That's what we do. And, you know, it's interesting also how, what I got from that, the principle, they, you know, Nigeria, of course, would have been an agriculture society for all that time, even in ancient times. But sometimes when you pivot too sharply, you pivot into something brand new, it can collapse the entire thing. This is why we say choose a niche, stick to it. You can kind of veer a little bit, but at the end of the day, for example, we do the same thing we did dang near 10 years ago. I've been a writer for about 10 years. Writing websites, writing blogs, writing social media copy, email copy. I've done the same thing for a decade straight. Yeah. Like, sometimes you don't pivot. Sometimes you just stay with what you're good at, because that is what the Most High has given you as your gift. That's your inheritance, so to speak. That's what you need to stay with. So had Nigeria not pivoted, to oil and just been like, no, we've been agricultural all this time. We're not going to let go of this. We're going to continue doing had they not pivoted, Africa would look a lot different. Nigeria would be even more wealthy than they already are, because Nigeria is a pretty wealthy country. But they would have been like top over the world, feeding the entire world. So that's also just the principle of, you don't always need to pivot. You just need to refine what you have and modernize it a bit. Don't completely throw it out and be like, I'm switching the industry altogether. Because I've always loved writing as a child. And so for me, if I was like, no, I'm never going to go back to that, I would have missed every single blessing. Every single, because the blessing's tied to what the Most High has purposed you to do.
Yeah, that's good. Because I was thinking, like, dang, like, for me, I'm, like, very detail-oriented. Like, I want things to be in order. I want things to make sense, right? So I know I had plenty of jobs and stuff, but at every job, I'm always trying to perfect everything, right? So that I'm very detail-oriented. So when it came to driving trucks, you know, I was trying to park perfect. Big old trucks, big trucks, right? Detail-oriented. It came down to video editing, detail-oriented. When it came down to coding, detail-oriented. When it comes down to these charts and learning how to trade, detail-oriented. So it's just like you have to refine what you just, I'm like, that's deep. That's deep. So whatever you do, you really have to find what you're really good at and refine it.
Yeah, your core aspect about you. Yeah. That main thing.
Yeah, and
it's usually just one main thing that you're excellent at.
Guys, please listen. If you on here, 30 people on here, listen, please. If you are listening, make sure you like the video. Like the video right now, because
and share it.
Yeah, because it's like, man, we talk to so many people. We give people the blueprint. I know somebody just said something about a blueprint or something like that, or it's just a good conversation, right? But like we've been giving people all this information. We're not just coming on here just to try to talk. No, we really coming on here because we care about our community.
Yeah.
And what we can do is really give our community what works, what we have done and works.
Yeah.
The blueprint.
It works.
And some, like, of course, we gotta speak in code, because, man, I was watching this show about Malcolm X or whatever, and how he was coming to Africa and stuff, and, you know, Mecca and stuff like that. But it's the same thing to this day.
Say it. Talk about the scene you're talking about.
So I guess the scene that I'm talking about, he came to Saudi Arabia, I believe, and he got to the border. He had all his paperwork good and stuff, but the person at the border was like, no, it's fake. And then he got thrown in jail. And I'm like, oh man, that's deep, because that's what they do to this day.
Subscribe to members only, so y'all know what we're talking about, because that's very parallel to something we've been through.
Yeah.
Subscribe to members only.
That's deep. Like, it's the same thing. It's still the same powers that be.
The same games.
So I know now, like, if we did have like a Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey or something like that, that's really trying to push people back to this land, you know, they probably gonna, you know, get taken out. So sometimes we just got to be quiet and speak in code. Speak to the people that really, really understand.
Yeah.
Because it's a dangerous game. They don't want our people to come back together. And if you read Ezekiel 37, that's just what it is. That's the prophecy that has to be fulfilled. It's two sticks coming back together.
Some of our people don't want our people coming back together, because I think it's at the rate now, and that kind of shows it. Because also with Malcolm X, he was surrounded not by a lot of white people, by a lot of black people.
Yeah.
The only people that could take him out is a black person.
It's always that.
Always. And so that's why it's like you really got to be discerning in these times. That's why we chose to live in a country where there's not a lot of people. Not a lot of diaspora know, not a lot of Americans know. You're way better off choosing somewhere. Yes, you're going to have to learn a new language. It's going to be all right. Yes, Christianity may not be the main religion. It's going to be all right. But you have a better odds, just statistically, when we look at history. You have better odds of being successful when you're in a place where there's not a lot of people like you. So if you wanted to go to like Namibia, that'd be a great option. There's not a lot of diaspora there. You want to go Burkina Faso, maybe a great option. There's not a lot of diaspora there. You want to go somewhere like maybe Senegal, Sierra Leone. You want to go to Mauritius, Seychelles, not a lot of diaspora there. Because they're only gonna, the agents are only gonna go to the most popular places. So you're gonna see them in Ghana, you're gonna see them in South Africa, you're gonna see them in Tanzania, you're gonna start seeing them in Kenya, you're gonna see them in places like that because they're so popular.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful. Like we know what it is. We know what it is, and for us, dang, like, oh, I'm about to say, so long. Yeah, for us, like the most important thing is your foundation is, you know, the Most High, His Word, you know, believing in Yahushua Mashiach, you know, and like trusting, believing in the Most High, like working your faith, like really, because this is what we've been doing. Like we did not know anything about Mauritius before moving here.
That was the
Like
advantage.
Really, we didn't know. Maybe like maybe at the most a month out before we came here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dang, like we talk about it now, like, wow, this is like, that's like, dang, we didn't know anything. We just went.
Mm-hmm.
Most High said this, you know, South Africa wasn't working out, it wasn't lining up.
It didn't make sense for us.
And then Mauritius popped up, it made sense, stuff started falling, just flowing. Once stuff start to be choppy down and stuff, you like, okay, maybe we got to rethink this. But once stuff start flowing up and just flowing, okay, the Most High is probably telling us this is it. So like, that's what we know. That's what we stand on. Like really, like people be like, oh, why y'all do this? Why you do that? Because the Most High told us, and people that knows, but the people that don't, they're not going to understand. Like,
yeah. Really. Also understanding that, as the scripture saying in Revelations, we were talking about this in a previous video, 2/3 of the earth, not just of the Israelites, 2/3 of the earth will not make it. So it's like, whenever we make decisions, we make it from that standpoint, okay, I know 2/3 of humanity just in general isn't going to make it. So I really don't take what people say. You could be older than me, younger than me. You could be whoever you want to be. But at the end of the day, I truly just don't listen to humanity, because humanity, I'm just not going to listen to over the Most High. It's just not going to happen. And people just can't stand that, the way they couldn't stand it with Yahushua the Messiah. They couldn't stand this 32, 33-year-old man acting like he has authority and divinity, which he does and did. They couldn't stand that. For a Sadducee and Pharisee is 60-some years old, 70 years old, it's like, no, you need to come listen to me. He's like, I am Yah in the flesh. He's like, don't you get it? And they're like, nah, you're blaspheming, la 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 la, accusing him, just watching him to consistently throw these arrows at him. It's like, it's either you get it or you don't. Yahushua, he didn't even spend much time going back and forth with people, because the spirit of debate is just, why would you do that? It's a waste of time. It's such a low level energy. Why even debate? You don't even have to argue with people. You just got to keep it moving and keep it going, because at the end of the day, understand only 2/3 of humanity is even going to make it out of this. Just know that. Yeah. Not a lot of people are going to make it out.
And we don't know when that's going to happen. Nobody does. So you just got to really be solid. You got to be solid in His Word. And when I say His Word, I don't need to explain it. Like, I really don't. Like,
you either get it or you don't.
It means a lot. The Word means a lot. Because if you know what the Word means, I don't have to say nothing.
And we'll reiterate, before we left America, I told my mom, my brother.
Yeah, I told my sisters granny, and stuff.
That's it. We didn't really tell people. And we booked flights and told them, hey, I booked my flights for 2 weeks from now. Yeah. That type of vibe. That's Abraham type of vibe. That the actual blueprint is Abraham. That's where we got this mentality from. Mm-hmm. Reading Abraham's story and saying, oh, he left everything on a moment's notice, didn't care, boom. We did the same thing. When we left East Africa, oh, that dragonfly is big. Don't come in here.
Yo, she's scared of dragonflies.
I just don't want them near me, okay? So we did the same thing when we left East Africa for Mauritius. We didn't like go prance around. Hello, everyone. We have this grand idea. We just make the decision. We book the ticket and we go and we call it a day. And if you happen to be close enough to us in our inner circle, if we happen to feel like we trust you in that moment, we'll let you know. But if not, we won't let you know. The end. Because scriptures say, have one counselor out of 1,000. Scriptures say, use discretion. It will guard you. That's Proverbs. Discretion shall guard you. Discretion is when you don't tell everybody what you're doing. Discretion is when you don't have 50 million counselors. Discretion is when you don't need all the church folks and folks over there and folks over there to tell you what the Most High is telling you. Abraham didn't have this whole council of 90 elders to say, oh, now you can finally leave Babylon. That's not how that went down. He received a dream from the Most High. He believed it. It was counted for righteousness. The next few weeks, next few days, he's like, all right, I'm on my way out. See y'all later. Sorry, I got to follow the Most High. Y'all serving idols over there, I got to go.
Yeah.
On a moment's notice. And that's the end. There's no what if, but, and, oh, but what if, what? We don't live by what if. We live by the promise of Yah. His promises are yes and amen. That's it.
Yeah, he always, I'm telling you, like, we got 5 children that eat every day. Look, everything is always taken care of.
Exceedingly
like
beyond
exceedingly,
taken
like
care of.
it kind of like when I sit here and think about that, it's just like, wow, like we really don't want for nothing. And it's not like we want the whole, like it's not like our desire that whatever we want, our desires is pure. It's not like we trying to do something way over here to the left or right. No, like, dang, the Most High is good. All praises to the Most High, Yahuwah. Because, like, man, I wish you guys can really understand and feel this. Because it's real. It's right here for you.
Yeah.
You just got to step out and grab it.
Yeah.
You got to believe it. You gotta work with it. Like, you got to just walk with it. Because it's literally right here on this earth. Like,
and you can see the signs of the times. It's not hard to see. I mean, it never was, though. Was it really that hard to see when you look at American history?
Especially waking up to the truth. Just put it like that. I know
It
once
was
you
never
wake
that
up
hard
to
to
the
see.
truth, it's a lot of things that, like, that the blinders kind of come off your eyes and you can see a lot. You start to know a lot about just history in general.
Facts. Facts. Don P. Shalom, shalom. We see your comments in the chat.
But yeah, I did want to say this before I forget.
You can email us to connect, Don P.
Yeah, with
We don't have mods today. No mods today. Y'all know we post so much content. They're like, we don't know when to come on. Sambuca's eating journey. My circle is as small as a dot on a page. Facts. That's why you've made it in Africa so long. Can we just testify of that? Like, that's the testimony. You get longevity when there's not a lot of people around you to just distort your brain. To distort, again, I'm going to use the analogy of the radio. You're trying to tune into the Most High. 50 million people, well, I think I did that and did that. Shut them off. I need to hear from my father, not you. You're not my father. Doesn't matter. So yeah, that, like, just testify of that fact. People who have been in Africa, our clients who have been in Africa and stayed and have not gone back and had success, they do not get in large groups of people. They say, hey, I moved to this country. It could be Gambia, Zambia. It could be, Botswana, wherever. Who have been somewhere and stayed, they all testify of the fact that they are not around large groups of people. They literally stay to themselves. They have locals, obviously, in their surroundings. That's the best community you can have, quite honestly. You're in a foreign country. Your best asset is going to be the local people around you, to be quite honest. And then other than that, keep it separate, because you have all of these people coming out here and you don't know who these people are. Half of them, they don't even know who they are. So of course you can't know who they are. They barely know who they themselves are.
Yeah, you just gotta like it's everything that we say. Like, you have to be set apart even from your own people. You gotta be
Hallelujah.
you gotta be on the same level. Like, you gotta build your relationship with the Most High. Like, you gotta be set apart. You gotta be separate, so you know how to survive on your own with your family. You get what I'm saying? Before we get to that next stage of coming together as a community. Like, that's just what it is. You gotta be set apart. I know we always said it, oh, we set apart people, but when it really comes down to it, you really have to be set apart. Like, it's deep. It's
Yes,
simple.
it is.
It's simple. It's very simple. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Very simple. So just really knowing the Most High's word that's inside you, right? It's very simple. It's very simple. I want to just say something about Trump. What was it?
Wartime powers.
War. Yes. So before I forget, yes. So Trump, right, was about to, like, just think about what the word says, right? It's gonna be chaos and then a sense of peace, right? So it's gonna be that. I can see that happening. It's gonna be all this chaos happening, and then, Trump, he's probably gonna bring some fake peace. So just just be aware, guys. Just be aware.
And be out of America, please. At this rate, pleading with y'all, don't be in America. I don't know why people think that these things can come to pass and happen in America with people still being there. I really don't. We just finished the book of Jeremiah yesterday. We went through verses 42 through 52. Okay? Y'all should check it out on your own. Do a nice Bible study today, 42 through 52. And it's like the same pattern you see with Joseph. He has to be set apart. You see the same pattern with Jeremiah. He's warning his people. You need to leave. You need to leave. Hello, judgment's coming.
Don't go
They're
back
like,
to
I
Egypt.
want to go to Egypt because
I don't know
Queen
what
of
you
Heaven-
saying. You crazy.
We
I
were
ain't-
worshiping the
we
Queen of
going to
Heaven and she
Egypt.
was cool. And it's like, really? The Statue of Liberty? It was that cool? Was it that cool? But it's like Jeremiah, he's literally pleading with them. He's like, hello, do not go back to Egypt. The Most High will destroy you. They didn't believe he was hearing from the Most High is the issue. Again, Jeremiah was young. He started his ministry when he was very young. So people already had a mind about him. He's young, I'm not going to listen to him. Fine. But when destruction hits, then it's too late. And it was just too late. So Jeremiah, he got to go ahead and go up out of the judgment and still going to where the Chassidim are. But guess what? Jeremiah didn't have to go in chains. Jeremiah went in blessings and provision. Why? Because the Most High chooses his prophets and chooses who he wants to take care of, especially when they speak his word and begin warning people. Okay? And so it's like you have got to be ready to listen to the Most High at a moment's notice. You've got to. And you have to be willing to sit down and receive what the Most High is saying in that specific time. You have to.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm like, y'all got to go back and read Jeremiah 42 through 52. It's long and it takes some time, but it's like, y'all, what the Israelites were saying to Jeremiah, you see the same exact thing happening today. We see it on this channel all the time. We see it on other channels. People are like, oh, well, we built this country, talking about America. We built that nation. Our ancestors labored and all of these things. But it's like, what does it matter?
It goes
Our
back to
ancestors had built some pyramids, had built up some things in Egypt too. Were we supposed to stay in Egypt forever?
Yeah. We just don't debate. It's not, time is not to be wasted. But I did want to, somebody said something about like investing, like bringing real wealth to Africa and stuff. And it got me thinking, like, I feel like if you really want to come here and solve problems, like that, just say you're going to be involved with some big, I don't know everybody personally, so don't like quote my words, but I feel like big money. If you want to come here, you're gonna be involved with big money here, and big money here is pretty much a lot of corruption that happens here in Africa. So I feel like only the Most High will clear all that out for us to come here like that. So keep your wealth to yourself and build around you before trying to go to that government level. Because once you're in that government level, of course they're gonna take your money, but you probably gonna weed out a lot of uh, just say like what was it like just look, watch the grab on Hulu. That's a perfect example. The people that wanted to come here and farm, right? I think it was Zambia. They go to the areas where all the locals are, where the land is very cheap. They buy up the land, kick the locals off. Now the locals they don't have no place to go. They catch malaria. They get sick. A lot of people suffers. So when you're talking about big money, you really got to be careful.
Yeah.
Like, you really got to be careful.
Maybe that's a video for members only. That's such a good topic because being here in Africa for 5 years in August, we've seen so much, have seen people have success, have seen people have to go back, have seen a lot of corruption. This is why we choose to live in there's only a handful of countries in Africa that we would honestly even live in, to be quite honest, because Africa does have a lot of corruption, and you have a lot of presidents who are basically Oreos, black faces, but white people who run it behind the scenes. And you can tell because the spirit and the patterns, if you have a level of discernment, if you can pick up on patterns, you say, this sounds very much like the racism in America with a black face. Particularly, East Africa has this issue big time.
It's deep, y'all. It's you think that the black face is the leader, but no. It's not it.
Y'all better go subscribe to members only. We got 83 members over there. We had given y'all the full detailed stories, okay? Not just us, people that we know and used to know.
That dropped
seen these powers that be.
Some big bags. Some big bags.
With black faces in Africa. And this is why I say that there's some... is that the word lividity? That's not the word. There's some truth to when white folks would say those Africans were selling Africans. Yes, some of these Africans were selling Africans, and do to this day. This is why we're like, you had better choose the right country. You really better choose. Because we were watching another documentary yesterday, and we got another list to show y'all. Stay tuned. This is a list on the recent Trump ban on the countries that are banned. But I do want to talk about this. We had watched a video yesterday talking about the slave dungeon in Ghana. And, I'm just listening to Sabbath, and, the thought comes to my mind. I'm like, but Father, why would this dungeon even exist in Africa? Where it's a dungeon, a church is on top, and they have all these people crammed with feces 4 feet high. They're walking through feces. They show these claw marks on the dungeon where these slaves were trying to get out. Some of our cousin ancestors, whoever, and it's like, why would this even exist in an African country? You have to start questioning stuff like that and say, okay, some of these countries are a no. Some of y'all looking like Psalms 83. Go check out Psalms 83. I'm not going to go too much on this topic. Maybe I'll do it on members only, because it's like you got to start to ask the right questions when you are in the origin land.
Yeah.
Because who is the first nation to sell out our people? Black Africans. There's no one to sell out to unless somebody gets sold. I digress. I'm going to go to the travel ban. It's a very important topic. Y'all see this? This is the new list of travel ban countries that Trump has put out, okay? New potential travel bans, okay? Draft list of proposal ban countries and internal Trump admin proposal list. The following countries whose citizens could face restrictions on entering the U.S. Some countries may change in any final order. Y'all let us know what you think. I'm not completely sure what to make of this right now. But we're going to read the countries on this list. Okay. So in the red, all travel banned. So people from these countries in red cannot fly to America. Afghanistan, Bhutan, Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, Yemen. Next category, orange. Orange means visas are sharply restricted. Again, citizens from these countries, and this happens to be one of the countries my ancestry comes from, which is like, dang. Citizens from these countries cannot enter. This is where it's like, I don't understand every country, why they would put some of these countries on the list. If y'all know, somebody let me know. Belarus, Eritrea, Haiti, Laos, Myanmar, Pakistan, Russia, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, Turkmenistan. Now, my maternal lineage goes to Sierra Leone, okay? Yellow. Yellow means that they have 60 days from this announcement, and y'all know Trump is going to follow up on this. He's not going to forget. So these countries have 60 days or else they're going to go into the red or red or orange categories. Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Chad, Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Dominica, Equatorial Guinea, Gambia, Liberia, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Sao Tome and Principe, which is in West Africa, Vanuatu. I like Vanuatu. It's like a nice little island country out there in the middle of like Australia in that ocean somewhere. They have a great digital nomad visa, but for whatever reason, they're on the list of like, don't go there. And Zimbabwe. So.
It's very interesting.
What y'all think? What y'all think of that list? You know? Somebody leave a comment and let me know, why would Sierra Leone be on that list? Why is Angola on the list? I'm just curious. I want to know. So yeah, that's a recent announcement by the administration. I mean, again, we're only 3 months in. We can see that times are completely changing right in front of our eyes. The America that you had last year is not going to be the America you walk into in the next month. And it's completely possible, FYI, it's completely possible to sit down, journal, pray your way to leaving America, to have a plan within the next 90 days and be able to execute on that plan and be able to leave. It's completely possible. We've lived that lifestyle. It's so possible based on your faith level and then matching your faith with action. You can launch a business in the next 90 days, have clients, and go to somewhere like Cape Verde, which is visa-free for Americans.
Yeah.
It's right off the coast of West Africa. It's right there, Senegal. Very affordable living. Visa-free for Americans, Senegal. Meaning you can fly from Miami, Florida, land in Senegal, and it is visa-free. You can do that. It's completely possible to do. But it's like you have to go ahead and believe in yourself and believe in what the Most High is doing for you. And you have to put some action with it. And so it's coming to a time where you gotta choose. You have to say, okay, am I willing to do this? Or am I just gonna be like, oh, I don't believe in myself? And be frustrated.
Well, you gotta believe in the Most High. Because he like you are the Most High's jewel. Think about that. You are so precious to the Most High. You are somebody. You are somebody special to the Most High's eyes. And that's all that you need. So he put you on this earth. He wake you up every day for a reason. You just got to find that purpose and that reason. And once you do that, I'm telling you, everything will start flowing. You really just got to know what's coming. You just got to know what's coming. Because it's not slowing down for nobody. It's not going to wait on nobody. What's happening right now, even with flying, right? That's a lot of fear that people's going to feel. Because all these crashes and stuff with American Airlines. There's a lot of stuff that happens with American Airlines, right? America. It's a lot of stuff that's been happening with Delta, right? So it's just like, dang, man, we just gotta. I think Ethiopia flies out of America, right? Or Kenya? Is it Kenya or Ethiopia Airlines? Kenya Airlines flies out of America.
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia Airlines flies out of America.
I think.
So think about, I think, one of them. Please do your research.
Ethiopia, I think.
But I know even from, I'll be out. I'll be out of America. I don't care what kind of, I'm not going to go on no American Airlines. I'll tell you that. But, or no Delta, but there is other airlines to choose from.
I'm done with you. I would not
So
be
you
flying.
better do your research, because for me, I know that's a big deal. Like, that's crazy. Like, a lot of all these plane crashes and stuff that's happening and problems and stuff, but most of them are American or Delta. So look, time just speeding up, especially exactly, yes, I saw that too. Yes, Canada, they're starting to be connected with Africa, so that's great. That's great. It's just like certain things.
And somewhere in the Caribbean is doing direct flights to Kenya.
Yeah.
I forget which country.
So it's happening, but they don't want you to hear it. They do not want you to hear it. Like, for sure. What's the list for?
Yeah, the list was for the countries that America has done a travel ban, meaning people cannot enter, citizens in those countries cannot enter America without these strict requirements. Again, the red travel ban, meaning these people in these 11 countries for the red, they cannot come to America at all, period. Afghanistan, Bhutan, Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, Yemen. For the orange list, this means that they have to go through extensive mandatory in-person interviews, okay? Belarus, Eritrea, Haiti, Laos and Myanmar are in Southeast Asia, Pakistan, Russia, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, Turkmenistan. That's why I had questions like, why Sierra Leone on that list? Yellow list, these are countries that the next 60 days, they need to report to President Donald Trump. I don't know what they're reporting on. Maybe they're reporting on BRICS or their economy or something that he wants to control them on. But this is a big list of countries that need to report to President Donald Trump in the next 60 days, or they're going to be moved to orange or red. Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Chad, the Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Dominica, Equatorial Guinea, Gambia, Liberia, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Sao Tome and Principe, Vanuatu, which has a fabulous digital nomad visa. I just have to say that.
Again.
Okay, it reminds me of Mauritius. And Zimbabwe, okay? Now, I think it's interesting that St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia are on that list because from what I know, those are two countries that, like, people that are entrepreneurs, digital nomads, they'll want to go there, get an investment visa, get their whatever stuff it is they want to have, invest there, and get like a second citizenship, a second passport. Sierra Leone also, when I look at what Sierra Leone does, Sierra Leone is the only country in Africa. Let's underline this. Shout out to Dynas Demir's channel because he pointed this out. Sierra Leone is currently the only country in Africa, on the continent, that has verified being able to give African American citizenship, that has a outline process, a process that actually works. The rest of the countries are like a wait and see type of situation. Sierra Leone is the only one that stood up and said, hey, if you have Ancestry, and they expanded it to include Ancestry.com and 23andMe. It used to be AfricanAncestry.com was the only one, but they've expanded it a bit to say, hey, if you have blood that comes back here, we will allow you to come in and get your citizenship, but there's new requirements. You have to go 2 times to be able to process your citizenship because they want people who are actually going to live in the country and invest there. Yeah. So as of right now, although Benin, although Nigeria, although Burkina Faso, although a lot of people have come out and said, hey, we're going to allow y'all to come, right now all of that's just talk until these things actually happen. Ghana has also issued citizenship. It's not a clear path because you just kind of have to be in the country or be able to fly on a moment's notice to get that citizenship. But nonetheless, they have processed thousands of passports for Americans, okay?
Yeah.
Tim, you're right. That could be why Sierra Leone is on that list. Just food for thought, because the African passport, that can be a great asset. So you can pull both cards, the American card, the Sierra Leonean card, whichever card you need to pull. Freetown looks incredible. They speak English there. They just seem very peaceful and nice. Fairly stable. So that could be why they're on that list. But I think African countries at this rate, they're not really afraid. They don't care.
Yeah.
Or at least ones that aren't run by puppets, put it like that.
But yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like the video. If you have not liked the video, we appreciate you guys' support. We appreciate you guys coming on here, commenting.
And share it if you found value. We've seen a few people that were trying to hit the like button. They're like, hey, it won't even let me hit the like button. So you can try to hit the like button again. You can also share it in Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, share it everywhere that you can. If you would like to help us get the message out there. Until next time, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, family.